That's it.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night. You're back with Let Them Shoot. We're back. Argentina, Croatia, semi-final. Live. Not live for you, but live for us. Yeah, it's the long hour.
Yep.
Okay.
LD.
Yes, sir.
LD. This is DJ Ease. No, we don't even do. I was gonna say to my right. Yeah. Okay. Hey. Oh, we've got a little off-camera guest. You can introduce yourself.
What's going on, guys? It's my final return. You know,
Final. This is the last.
Best young chef in Canberra. You know how it is,
Yeah.
Riley.
Perfect.
Glad to be back, boys.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Oh, and
It's North Africa.
we actually have a one drink pass counter on the side as well. So
Yeah.
if you get to a magic number,
Yeah. You'll
90.
win free Bud autographed signed photos.
yeah.
MJ, can you do a quick Manscaped shout out?
Shouts to MANSCAPED. You know what? I've been using MANSCAPED.
Yeah. Talk it.
Flawless.
Flawless.
Clean,
Flawless.
crispy,
Yeah.
Crisp.
like dark chocolate down there.
Yeah, facts. Let me get a look at them when we finish.
Preview at the end.
The jewels are looking nice.
Yes, sir.
The missus is happy.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
happy.
it. See that?
My life's happy.
See that?
Thanks to MANSCAPED.
Thank you.
Have you all been using MANSCAPED?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
all the time.
And if you
That's
too
why you
want
guys
to
looking
use
good.
Manscaped,
What do you do?
the code right here.
Bang, bang, bang.
Let
bang,
them
bang.
shave. Get your 20% off. Get your
And
free
free
shipping.
shipping.
Exactly.
shipping.
Get your balls as smooth as eggs. Yeah, we moved.
He got nicked.
I reckon he did get nicked. After Paul?
Yeah.
No.
It
did.
didn't look like anything.
Nah.
It
Well,
did.
it can't spin like that.
He chipped it.
Oh, didn't you see talk about the logic of the ball?
Yeah.
Federer.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good video, that one.
that was.
That
Oh my god.
Go on.
Chips.
Hey, it's a pen. It's a
No.
pen.
No pan.
No, it's... Oh my god, he's giving
It
it.
took him out.
Oh my god. And
He
got a
completely
Messi.
took him out.
Come on.
Oh
and
Messi grabs
my
his feet to the toe.
God.
Hey, you need to do that
See, what
shit
did I say
again.
last time? Pen merchant. He's a
Hey,
pen merchant.
do it.
Do it. Yeah.
Do it.
Pessy.
Oh
Okay.
my God.
Everyone, shout out to everyone who had Messi on goal or assist. We're out, baby. Oh my god.
What's he doing?
card.
Send him. Send him.
No, he already gave him a yellow, guys. Are you alright?
Livkovic is staying in Dinamo.
Livakovic.
What did I say? Livovic.
You said yeah.
Imagine if Messi doesn't take
You
it.
said Livermento, I think.
Oh,
Ma-
Kovac has got a yellow as well.
Jeez.
Brozovic has a
For
bomb
protesting.
tattoo on his neck.
Yeah. But if that guy was Arab,
Because he gives bomb throat.
great ball.
What?
Jeez.
What?
Tim, that's enough from you, mate.
What the hell?
This is why keepers should let defenders defend.
Keeper would have got hurt as well.
That would have hurt.
I reckon that's a bit techie.
Like the foul.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Because he's not getting to it.
Like he's
Well, he stopped.
yeah, but the keeper's come out to save the ball. He hasn't he didn't go down and like commit at his feet. Like he's just stopped.
But he
And-
didn't
and-
kick
It's
the
a weird
ball
one.
out.
And he's already
don't know,
made
yeah.
his whatever he was gonna do. He already did it.
Yeah,
It's a hard one.
I don't know. I reckon that's a bit techie.
On
then-
the brink.
and I've seen a lot of Twitter threads, conspiracies that, FIFA are doing this so Messi wins. You've seen them threads?
Yep.
A lot of decisions have gone Argentina's way just quietly.
Look at the Netherlands game.
The Netherlands,
That was
the
crazy.
Netherlands game, the Saudi Arabia game, the pen that they got in the first game. We see that in every single game.
They've got a pen
They're not
every
gonna-
single game, right?
And
Yeah, I think so, except for one maybe.
Except for the...
Mexico.
Oh my God, what's
You
going
got
on here?
spit on your face.
What happened to his face?
He's putting Messi off.
And on the brink,
he'd be like, Messi, look at this.
the little man with the hopes of Argentina.
What's this idiot? Imagine if they
Emi
lobby him.
Martinez can bear the look.
The keeper just hits it.
It's all right, Messi.
Lionel Messi
Please, miss.
to put Argentina in front.
And he blasted in!
It's a fucking great
Come
pen.
on!
But you notice how they
Vamos!
why don't they do
Come on!
the thing? He didn't do the run up that he'd been doing.
Like
the
He,
stop.
he got nervous.
Maybe
I
he got
think.
nervous.
Yeah.
This keeper saved 4 pens this tournament.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
That's a good record. 4.
We should have done this.
One more game, boys. After this, one
That
more
would have
game.
been fucking funny if he did the
funniest
suit.
thing ever.
Imagine he just starts going like this.
Yeah.
And again,
Yeah.
what's with they
Yeah.
all
Oh, did you see
celebrate with you.
Lissandro Martinez interview?
Is it a pen? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
not sure.
I don't think it is.
He's already made his decision, the guy.
I'm
I
not
don't
sure
know
if it's a
what's
pen.
going
And
on.
Lovren's there.
I'm not sure if it's a pen.
I don't know, bro.
That's also a sick.
I think it should have
It's a
been.
good pen.
It should have been, I guess,
Good.
viewed
That's
more than what it
excellent.
was.
Absolutely.
Like it was way
I
too
don't know.
easy.
I don't know if VAR can overturn it. I think the ref should have not called it and then let
I think
VAR.
if the ref doesn't call it, VAR doesn't
Yeah.
overturn
Yeah,
it. As well.
absolutely.
I don't think VAR can overturn.
Yeah.
because there's obviously contact.
Fucking hell.
Good.
This
good
idiot
cutter.
with no
Good
fade.
uncutter. So yeah, Lissandro Martinez did the interview and he said, until the last minute, all I could think about was Messi and trying to bring this World Cup to Messi.
It loses, mate.
He said, now we're only 2 games away.
He's left with it.
But 33 passes so far.
Wow.
Pretty good. It's
Wow.
pretty good. And
If
the
you can
longer,
get to
this
45
stays the longer this stays 1-0,
Extra time you saw.
Croatia going to have
Yeah.
more of the ball. I reckon you're good.
That's actually not a
Yeah,
bad.
just the other legs though.
Did it? Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting.
Oh, but one of them just got ticked off. Messi.
Oh,
Score or assist.
Pessi.
Pessy.
You guys set up for that? Here we go.
Bang.
Just F him up.
Great
Oh, my
touch.
God. He dived.
He's up again, though.
Oh my God.
Go.
Switching
Who's
out
this?
Lautaro for
Alvarez.
Alvarez may be a genius
He's
move.
so quick.
Look.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, you said it, Jeremy.
You could. He should do the Dame wave.
Jeremy, you know ball like that?
Fucking hell.
Ciao.
You know,
Croatia.
what? You know they were saying like
Catcher.
Alvarez is Aguero regen, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
He's got Jamie Perk as well.
He
like,
does.
like
Like
Aguero.
Aguero. Croatia will catch ya. Airport this way.
A very jinky.
And again, everyone celebrates with
he
Messi.
should have passed there.
Yeah,
Really, he
should
should
have.
have
I
passed.
think he tried to. Did he not?
No,
Yeah, I
he
think
went
he
to go
tried to-
inside.
No, he did try to, and it came off the defender.
Look at
Look at
this.
this break bar.
Oh, actually, maybe he tried to just dribble.
I think he just tried to
Messi
dribble.
dive. He should be booked. Yellow
No.
card,
Oh,
and they
What
stopped the
about
game.
what
Shut
about
up,
this
mate.
guy that
They
just
stopped the
made the
game.
run? Look at this guy.
Airport.
He should have get
Look,
there.
he's just trying to dribble.
Yeah, he's just
Oh,
trying
it's
to
just a
dribble.
very. That's
Twice.
literally jinky. Look at that.
Nah,
One
that's,
more.
Look at that.
Nah.
Yeah, you finish that one.
That's fucked.
Hey, it's another pen. Bang.
bang. Nah.
Good
The
finish.
people that can do that,
Good finish.
they've already made a deal with the devil. I
Yeah, for
reckon.
real.
Because there's no other way that can come off.
No. Twice as well.
What? What did Montage? Oh, fucking hell.
So, yeah.
Thought he said he
left
fucked
back.
his clearance.
He'd be the most.
Alvarez is out of his cotton picking mind.
It would be the most entertaining thing Montal has ever done.
Who, what, where, wins?
Oh my god, see you later,
Messi.
Vardio.
Nope, he got there.
No.
Watch Messi get a pen from outside the box.
Oh my
Just
god,
shaky.
bro.
Bye
Bro.
bye. Yep.
My god. He is the best player I've ever seen.
The best player is number 9.
Come on.
He's gonna get man.
You see what he just did to Guardiola?
What is he
Come on.
doing? Oh, he's
the
gonna
fucking-
get man of the match for
Come
that.
on.
Don't
He's the
dab me
fucking
up.
goat.
Don't fucking dab me up. He's gonna get man
Oh
of the match
my
for nothing.
days.
He doesn't
Go.
do anything. He doesn't do anything.
Let's go.
Just because he jumps on someone, he's gonna get man of the match.
Fucking
Shut
oath.
up.
You need to fucking get the
Literally,
hell
all you're
out
talking
of
about, oh, Gladio, can't wait for him to be at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you want him at Chelsea? This guy at Chelsea? For what? You got spun by a
Guardiola.
36-year-old short
He
midget.
got
man.
outpaced.
If you
Look at the-
outpace,
oh
bye-bye.
my
Look at
God.
this. Messi said, all right, come back. We'll do it one more time. We'll do it one more time. Look at this. Look at this. We'll do it one more time.
Oh
See you later.
Shake. Oh
Bye-bye.
my
Tell him,
God.
take that mask off. You can't see nothing.
And he does this as well.
What's
Does
Lovren
this-
doing?
Get
bro?
off me.
He said, take that mask
Bro,
off.
that is
Get off me.
incredible.
Look at Lovren.
This is honestly incredible.
These
Get
centre
off
backs.
Look at this. See ya.
Shake.
Bang.
Bye bye.
Then he goes,
Bang.
"Get off
Too
me."
strong. Bang.
Wow. That's it. See you
Bang.
later.
These centre backs these days, all they have to do is 36-year-old
Get off
Messi.
me.
Imagine if they had to deal with 25, 24-year-old Messi. They're lucky.
How
And
old
they're
is
still
Guardiola?
getting. They're still getting
21,
22.
21,
Imagine
yeah.
you're a 21-year-old. You're getting torn apart by this 35, 36-year-old man.
Yeah,
Give him
he's
that.
young.
Mate, Ronaldo.
that's
Fuck,
Never
you might
do
need to
this.
get them
No,
boots,
no
Samuel.
way.
Just switch that.
I'm not
and
even
get
gonna
them.
cap. Ronaldo can't beat
Yeah,
something
I
like
reckon
that.
get them.
The gold though.
Yeah.
Ronaldo can't do that.
It's good. The gold's only on the bottom.
You can only wear gold if you Messi or Neymar or Ronaldinho.
Platinum.
No.
Yeah.
You can wear them, I think.
Or Zidane.
You guys want to talk about Morocco a little bit?
Yeah, let's talk.
Let's do it.
Morocco are the first African team ever to qualify. And not that this matters too much. like the continent. Like they're obviously representing their country.
Yeah.
They are somewhat representing the continent because that's where they qualify and that's where they're from. But I just mean like obviously as Morocco, you're firstly focused on Morocco.
Absolutely.
First team in the semi-finals. Me and Sammy were talking about it. If they reached the final, they would have had the hardest run ever to a final. They had Belgium, Croatia in their group. Croatia who are in the semis,
Which they topped.
They then beat Spain. They then beat Portugal.
Wow.
They would then have to beat France, and they'd be in the
And
final.
then face Argentina in the final.
So it's the hardest run
They've conceded 2 goals.
you
in the
would have ever
tournament.
seen in a World Cup.
Isn't it just one?
Isn't there just one?
I think they conceded 1 in the group stage.
Yeah, that's
Today?
That's the one.
That's the
Oh, is
one.
it?
That's it.
Yeah,
Far
that's the
out.
one.
Every other
One
game has
goal.
gone to pens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this?
Conceded.
I think like I saw a video saying like no matter who the winner was, there's like a narrative, like a sick story behind it. Like Argentina would be Messi's World Cup. He would
Oh,
cement
this guy
himself
might
as
be
the
good.
GOAT, blah, blah, blah.
Who's
France, if they won, it would be the first.
First back-to-back
Back to
World
back,
Cup
yeah.
winners.
First back to back. Croatia, if they won, it would be they would become like a new team that's won the World Cup.
And they'd be
it would
the smallest population.
4
wise
million
to
people.
win
And then Morocco,
World
if they
Cup.
won, it's probably the greatest underdog story
I started thinking it
in the
was,
World Cup.
The
it
Leicester
was
underdog.
there's more people in
Facts.
There's more people in Paris than there is in Croatia.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
4 million people. Like, that's not a
crazy.
lot of people to produce how many good players they produce.
For the amount of
Consistently as well.
the amount
Yeah.
of talent that Croatia have.
Like, they have they produce a lot of good players.
Yeah, it's
They're
crazy.
consistently good.
But
Also,
yeah,
I'd just like to say the Western media is crazy on African countries because I saw an interview where these English pundits came out and they were like, "Oh, I don't care that England are out. I genuinely think that England were the best team in this World Cup. They played the best football. They were the most." It's like,
yeah.
mate, Morocco have just beaten like
Yeah.
3 or 4 of the best teams at the World Cup.
Yeah.
Give them their respect.
And
They need to get their flowers.
yeah, absolutely. I saw a thing that said, like, it was like teams England have beat in the World Cup.
Yeah, I saw
Since
that as well.
Southgate took over, oh my God. There's not one team that's
It's not
Yeah.
one top
of
20.
quality.
I started
Makes
thinking
sense.
it was when England going to beat
Yeah.
a good side.
Because what, they lost to France,
Yeah.
they lost to Italy in the Euros,
They lost to Croatia.
they lost to
in
Croatia, then they lost to
2018.
Belgium in the third place playoff in
Yeah.
the last World Cup.
Yeah.
They're not beating these big nations.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. But sorry, back on Morocco. What do you guys think? How do you feel about this Morocco team? What do you think of the achievement?
It's just, I think it's, because let's say if we look at Africa, I don't think anybody was saying Morocco is the African standard.
was.
Except Eto.
One guy said they'll get
but
to
he
the
also
final.
said 4 of them. 3 of them.
That's what I was saying
biased.
about you make fucking 10 fucked up picks and
Oh, you
one
look
of them
like a
looks
genius.
you look like a
You
genius.
say anything wild,
He
one,
said-
one time you look like a genius.
Yeah,
Because he
facts.
called the
Messi.
semi-finals. He said it was going to be France, Morocco.
Yeah,
But look at that
he
one.
said Cameroon.
Yeah.
the other
His
one,
whole
and
thing,
Cameroon
like,
would
was
win the
crazy.
World
Cameroon,
Cup.
Still,
Senegal. in
To
the
get
other
one of them is pretty sick.
Yeah, it is.
He said Cameroon, Senegal, and the other,
the other
semi.
semi.
So I don't know about it if we're giving him credit. But yeah, sorry, Mike, keep going about Morocco.
No, it's just impressive because I think Morocco defensively have been unbelievable.
Yeah,
and I
absolutely.
think
Yeah.
people talk about parking the bus, which I mean maybe you could argue, but I think they're just so organized. You got
It's
Amrabat,
like- exactly.
DM, and the centre back pairing is
Immense.
you could literally say it's probably one
I think
of
we
the
were
best.
rating him last year as well.
Size.
Says, yeah.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
did.
yeah.
He was in our picks.
Yeah.
And then you've got enough creativity going forward in Boufal, who I think he's had an up and down career. He's been injured. He's come back into this side after being
Far out,
injured,
man.
and he
He's
has looked-
razzling.
Bofal's the definition of North African footballer.
That's
Yeah,
a North
he's
African player
razzling.
right there.
And the thing is, when both of your fullbacks are top quality, I think in modern football, fullbacks are so important.
Oh,
And having Hakimi on one side and Mazraoui on the other side is,
It's not. It's,
and especially experience. One plays for PSG and one plays for Bayern. I think
Yeah.
that helps so much. But also, I think
top level.
we talked about it at the start, and I said it before the World Cup that a unit, there's
Absolutely.
there's
Yeah.
not enough. You can't stress enough how much a solid unit
big
helps.
time.
Because these guys, they move together like they played the regular season together.
Absolutely.
Everyone is so connected. The coach knows everything. They just know exactly what they're gonna do, and they're so solid. And it feels as though they never seem under pressure. They never seem like they're going to concede.
and I think they have a unit, but enough quality in the positions where they need it.
Yeah.
Because their
Attacking
front
areas.
three, that's not a joke. Like before the tournament, yeah, I know we're doing this in hindsight, but you're looking at the front three perform in games. Ziyech is having a great tournament.
Yeah.
El Naziri, the Sevilla
Buffal.
striker, right? He plays for Sevilla.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think he plays for Sevilla or fucking Valencia or some shit. And then Buffal, like that's a dangerous front three.
Yeah.
So they have them.
And like
plus
we
the
said,
fullbacks.
when we talked about Australia, when we said you need to take players that can create something out of nothing,
you go.
Buffal, Ziyech, these guys
Yeah,
that
Sevilla.
can create something out of nothing.
They hadn't been playing.
Exactly.
The coach was like, you know what? These are
Yeah.
some big time players. And I think that you're seeing the rewards. And I think we also need to talk about, I think African teams get this rap that they can't defend. They're not organized. They don't know how to manage games. I think Morocco's proved so clearly that whole narrative is changing because defensively they've been so good
And,
they manage games so well.
I saw a thing as well when it was like Hakimi was born and raised in Spain,
yeah.
but he chose to play for Morocco. And look at the impact that he's having on Morocco. If just more African players did that.
There you go.
I think that's the only takeaway from the game. Like Jose said, we all need to go back, play for our countries.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's it. If more people do it, it's like
Oh, where do you
Mahrez.
guys stand on that? Because I get what Mourinho is saying, and I think it's definitely
It's hard to be the first ones, you know.
it's hard to be the first ones, but also like you can also understand why players would play for the country where they grew up.
Of course.
I think
As
I-
opposed to their.
I think there's two sides because if you look at it, right, if you're, for example, France, you've invested in some of these players since the start of their careers. You've developed them, you've nurtured them, you've invested in them, and then to see those players play for different countries, particularly like some of your brightest ones, it would hurt.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think there's no contractual agreement that says you have to play for us because sometimes you feel more connected to where you come from as opposed to where you live.
I was
Absolutely.
thinking, do you think African people and players that are from African countries aren't as connected to their home countries like players, like you see players from Italy and Croatia, it's their dream to play for Croatia. It doesn't matter where they're born, where they grow up. That's their dream is to play for Croatia. And do you think that's not the same for African players?
I think the stigma around, Africa and being from Africa, growing up, I think they kind of wanted to just blend in. Like I saw a video with HP and he was talking about when he was younger, he wanted a Beckham hairstyle. He wanted to be like the other people he's around. So I feel like creating a culture where it's alright to go back, right to be yourself.
Yeah.
is what they need to do.
I agree. I think there's parts of it where you understand why, and I think like these like Croatia, Italy, like the powerhouses. There's obviously they have the quality and they're like looked at as like a massive team. They're successful, blah blah blah. So you can understand why young players who are from those countries would want to play for them. But say England, for example, or France, they're looking up to the French national team when they're young. With all that success, you've got so many icons, Zidane, Henry, Vieira, all these players, and they want to be like them. Whereas their home countries, obviously because those players never played there, the icons that they have is they're all representing other countries. So like you said, it's hard because they have to be the first ones.
Yeah.
Like Hakimi, like Mahrez. Well, yeah, they're exactly. They're taking the gamble. They're playing for their nation, but it's like it's hard to say that all players should go back and play for their team
I think
because
it
it's
will
like
make it easier. The more money that goes into African football, obviously the better that they're going to get. And we're seeing that the African players that do play for European countries are obviously good enough to make it on the international stage.
yeah.
I think that this Morocco team is a massive thing for African football because, like you said, people watching European teams where they have those heroes, these dudes are going to be the heroes for
Absolutely.
those kids.
Facts.
You're going to see these Moroccan kids say, no, I want to play for Morocco. I want to be like those guys.
Yeah.
So the talent in Africa is there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're being poached from their countries because they might not have the facilities and all that kind of stuff due to whatever.
Yeah.
And
But-
we're not going to say that they're not being helped a lot.
Yeah,
by
of
these
course.
countries.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for
when
the
you do get
countries,
more money,
yeah.
you get more facilities.
Exactly.
You're able to develop players in your own country. We're going to see the African countries catch up for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's such a layered, I think the solution or like whatever it is, the answer is so layered because there's so many reasons why a player could choose the country they grew up in rather than like their background. Because like, as well as you obviously have icons and players you favor and love from the country you grew up in, they also like grew up in that country. So all their friends, all the people they were around when they were young are all from...
That's who they want to represent.
Yeah, they're all from fucking... Say we're talking about England. It's like Saka growing up, all of his friends, I'm guessing, like are English. Or like even if they're from other African countries, they're from Middle Eastern countries, blah, 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 they're all in England. So
all these
they
favorite
resonate
players,
with
English.
England.
All the kits that he would have had when he was younger, England jerseys.
So then to say to him, like, you should be playing for Nigeria, which he could have a strong attachment to, it's like still divisive, like not divisive, but like you can understand why he would be connected to England.
And a lot of these players as well are mixed.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought you meant like if they make the choice as opposed to people saying, oh, why aren't you? Is that the question?
I'm saying, no. So Mourinho said basically that FIFA should make it that players have to play for their like African players should have to play for their countries, like regardless. And I'm saying more so like when the player chooses who they want to play for, it's so many things that are like pulling them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely.
What do you guys know much about the acceptance of foreign players going back and playing for African countries? Because there's recently
I've heard Zaha speak about it a lot.
There's a few videos released of the behind the scenes of the Jamaican team, and there's a massive divide between the Jamaican-born players and the English-born players.
Yeah. I've seen a video of Zaha speaking about how it is like there is a divide, especially in that Ivory Coast team, and he's like as British as you'll see, like
100%.
You know what I mean? As an African like English person, he's like his accent, everything is British, but he said there is a divide, and like it's
100%.
It's a weird one because it's like he obviously feels connected, but he doesn't because the majority of the Ivory Coast team is like they all speak French or they all
African
speak.
They grew up there.
They grew up there, exactly. And that's why he said like it's a strange one. Also, a lot of the players in Africa, there's a lot of, to generalize, but there's corruption in certain national teams, and so players are paying for their own accommodation. They're paying for flights. Like there's all this stuff that's going on, which would deter a player when they could just play for England, where everything's taken care of. Blah blah blah.
Oh, absolutely. And I think on top of that, there's a lot of tribalism in Africa as well. So when you're coming from Europe, there's that stigma of like, oh, he's not from here, he doesn't understand. So I can see both sides. Yeah. And it's a difficult one, but I think if we're starting to see Africa and the culture being celebrated more. I'm interested to see how that reflects in terms of players going to play for the national teams or whether they're accepted more in the countries that they live in. So like, for example, England, we're seeing more black players who are starting now. Yeah. In the past, that wasn't the case. So we might see both sides where players, more African players are playing who grew up in Europe are playing for African teams, but then more African players are starting for their European national teams. So I think it's going to be a weird mix of both.
And there's obviously cases where players can integrate well, but it's like maybe it's to do with how their home life was or like how their background. Like you see Iwobi's transition to the Nigeria team, and it's like very seamless. Yeah, because like maybe it's more so ingrained. His uncle's a Kocha. He has a connection. And not saying Zaha doesn't have a connection to Ivory Coast, but the Zaha one almost felt like it was like when he knew he had no chance with England. That's what I mean. It was like his second choice. He went to thing. Yeah. Whereas Iwobi maybe could have fought for the England thing, but he chose Nigeria. Yeah. Obviously, it's like there was less chance with him playing for England, but it's still, he had that possibility.
Maybe it will change people's perspective when these dudes are coming out and saying, I only want to play for this African nation.
Absolutely. Yeah. And until that stops happening where it's like, it seems like a second chance. And maybe that's why the players in these African teams already, like the ones that grew up in the countries, feel a way towards the players because 100%. They think they're just using them because they can't make it in their own team. And maybe you would feel a way, So that's why I think it's extremely late. It's not as simple as FIFA going, yeah, all African players should play for their like team, because realistically, there's so many factors to why that wouldn't work for everyone.
Did you guys see that thing that came out with France? I think it was like Laurent Blanc was heard in a secret meeting about how to stop a lot of like the African-born players.
It's like their whole team.
Yeah, playing or leaving like the French national team
Or
system.
leaving.
Oh, so
Yeah.
he wants them to stay.
So he said like there should be some kind of sanction that means if you come up through like Clairefontaine, or if you're in the French national teams, you can't then declare for your African national team.
Yeah.
Because of the rate of how many players are being developed and then not even choosing to play for the national team.
Yeah, but some of them aren't even making it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
majority.
So you're going to gatekeep
Yeah.
all these young
We're just getting
African
capped,
kids.
and then they're never going to play World Cup. They're never going to play Euros. They're only going to play like a qualification game that doesn't really matter, and then they can't play international football.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
No
And
way.
I actually saw a video about this the other day, and it was saying that because of the amount of like cultural like mixing and like people born in different places now, he was saying like, this guy was basically saying like the rules of international representation need to be changed to evolve. Like, why can't you like decide, oh, like I've played for this team, but now I want to represent this team, like this national team. And like, once you serve this amount of time, or like you have that, like, why isn't it that? Like, why doesn't it change with the amount? Because like you said, getting a player who's 22 gets a cap, because I think it stops at 21. So if you're under 21, you can switch nationalities without, as long as you have the connection, or like your...
Not if you play in a competitive game,
Yeah.
I think.
No, I think they changed it, because Zaha played for England, I'm fairly sure. They changed it because Diego Costa played for Brazil. Oh, a competitive game. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So you can still
You
play
can play
friendlies
as many
and shit.
friendlies as you want.
Yeah. But I think that's once you're... It's something to do... There's an age thing that makes
Yeah,
it
there is an age thing.
way easier to switch. Like from 21... Even if you play competitive like youth team, you can switch. Yeah. Like Declan Rice and Grealish, they both played for Ireland up until 2015. And then they switched to England. Like, so you can do that, but they're saying like, why don't they just transition it to having players be able to represent like different nationalities? Because they get like, people are gatekeeping teams. Like, they give you one cap and you're
people
fucked
are capping
for the rest of your life.
Players.
Which is, I see that, and I feel like it's very strategic for national teams to do that, knowing that we'd rather...
There's people getting picked in like Euro qualifiers and stuff just to cap them.
Yeah, exactly. And like, you've seen that even Australia, they obviously try to do that with that Christian Volpano kid. Yeah. Like, they wanted him to play, represent Australia, but obviously he feels like, oh, I might be able to make it for Italy, and it's going to be better for my career or whatever it is. So I think like...
And also, I get where he's coming from, because the Australian football landscape didn't do
anything
for him. He had to go to Italy to get
Recognised.
recognized. So for me, I'm like, you know what? At the start, I was like, nah, you should play for Australia. But then I was like, you know
Makes
what?
sense.
I agree with him.
Do you think teams should do more like what Saudi Arabia are doing, where they're saying like you can only play for your national country if you play in our league?
No, I don't think so.
No.
No way.
In Europe, I think that'll have like a huge impact on how strong a lot of those
Especially
teams will be.
because
You want your players to develop in the best possible.
Definitely.
a lot of leagues will lose
situation.
money as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, it's like, you can only do that if you have the power. Whereas if all your best players play outside the country, realistically, you're not going to be like you can only play for the country if you play in the league. Like, if 20 of your players all play outside the country, you don't really have the power to do that.
There's not really many.
Whereas if you had like 15 playing in the country and 5 were out,
Then you can say,
sort
okay.
of do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You could do it if you were England.
Yeah. You could do it if you were England.
But if you were like
But if you're like
France,
Brazil,
Or
Argentina,
Brazil,
Spain, even
You
like to a
couldn't.
certain extent.
Croatia, there's only probably a handful that actually
Yeah.
play in there.
Yeah,
you wouldn't
exactly.
be able to.
What's the FIFA president's name?
I'm not sure, but it's the Italian guy.
Let's say he says, today, everyone's going back to
Yeah.
the African teams.
Yeah.
Who has the best team? Right
Which
now?
African team or which country in the world?
Which country would have the best
In the world?
African team?
Oh, African.
Team.
Yeah.
I don't know where all the players
Yeah,
are from.
I'm
Sure.
guessing
I know
like
there's a lot
something
of-
like Senegal,
Senegal,
like something like
Cameroon.
that.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Congo has
Congo,
a lot of...
yeah.
Congolese.
Yeah.
All I'm saying, Algeria.
Yeah,
yeah,
Algeria,
that's
if like
true.
Benzema has to go back,
Yeah.
like that kind of...
Yeah, it'd be one of those teams.
That would be good, yeah. The sides would become very good.
Yeah, quickly.
A lot better.
Would be lit.
Yeah.
It's also a bit sticky because you got these players that are dual like
Nationals.
yeah. So for players like Griezmann,
Yeah.
what would be the rule? Like, what would he have to pick, and what's that based off? Like, is it his dad's side, or his mum's side?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. A
And
lot
then,
of
or
people
is
are
it where he
mixing
was
now.
born?
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like, that's why I'm saying
It shouldn't.
it makes sense that, like, in a perfect world, you have all the African players representing African countries and the teams are strong and it works perfect. But realistically, they don't feel the same connection to specific countries as you think they should because of how they
100%.
grew up.
Yeah.
Like, I can say that I would rather play for if I had the choice, I'd rather play for Eritrea if they had a good team than Australia. But then it's like, when I'm in Eritrea, how do I know like that I'm going to feel the same connection to
Yeah,
the team?
absolutely.
How do I know how I'll be treated in the team? Am I going to be treated as an outsider? Blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. Like, there's so many different issues.
And that's
that I
probably
think-
why a lot of European players who do declare for the African teams only play one competition and it's wraps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't feel the connection they thought, and they're not accepted or welcomed as they thought. And it's
Especially
over.
if you one, don't speak the language.
Yeah.
Like, two, you'd never been back there prior to
Yeah.
the tournament. There's so many different things that I think, like we said, Mourinho, I get what he's trying to say, and it's obviously for a good reason because he thinks that the African teams would be a lot stronger.
Yeah.
But I think there's so many different nuances that make it so hard.
And especially in tournament football, which is what international football is.
Facts.
Yeah.
Like you need to have, as we're seeing, you need to have a solid unit and a combined group. And if you're going into a tournament where
It's
people
a
are seen as
big
outsiders,
disconnect.
it's going to be
Oh
tough.
yeah, absolutely.
No, shout out to Mourinho, always looking out for the
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
black boys.
Absolutely.
Argentina.
Argentina are through, boys.
Messi through to his second World Cup final.
That look comfortable as well.
Yeah.
He looks like he's the front runner for player of the
Man.
tournament.
Yeah, I would
I
say
think he's
so.
gonna, yeah.
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 But
He'll get player of the.
like we said before
Win
the
or lose?
tournament started,
Win or lose.
this
Win or
Argentina
lose.
side looks so together, and they
do
all
look
have
together.
that one end goal, and everything that you see of them, they're so driven to winning the tournament, whether it is for themselves or whether it is for Messi,
It's the perfect
and
balance.
bringing home a tournament to Argentina. They're now in the final after that first game. Who would
And they
have
just
thought
beat a
after
Croatia
that?
team that beat Brazil. Like, that's no small feat.
They
But they
beat them
handled
3-0 as
Yeah.
well.
Man,
They handled them.
Yeah.
They handled
Beat them
Brazil.
3-0. And so, what are you guys saying? Is this they're good enough to win in the final?
Absolutely.
I think
Yeah.
they're good enough.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think you have the player that can realistically do anything at any time he wants.
Then you got,
We saw
It's
it.
extremely handy in a
you got your
fucking
dogs
tournament,
behind
isn't
you
it?
as well.
Absolutely.
Perfect And- balance.
And this whole thing about him not scoring in knockout
is that
tournaments,
guy's
this is
haircut?
in knockout games. He's now scored in.
Nuts.
He's now scored in all 3 of the knockout games.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There he is. He's in wearing green.
Absolutely.
I think he's definitely creating like a huge case in point as to why he's clear of Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
this
That's
is
as much as we can say he doesn't do it for his national team. That's 2 World Cup finals.
different ages, yes, but I think Messi and Ronaldo stands will be looking at these performances and being like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because look at the performance at 35.
Yeah.
It's almost similar to Zidane in 2006.
The
Yeah.
levels are clear.
At 30.
Zidane was 30. Yeah.
Yeah,
But that's what
he's
it's similar
incredible.
to. He's doing everything that he possibly can, and he's the difference in every game.
Absolutely.
Because if you take Messi out of this team, no one's saying they're even getting
No.
past the
no.
first round of the knockout.
Yeah.
different squad."
go.
He looks happier as well compared
Yeah,
to
he
the
looks
last World
happy.
Cup.
Yeah.
He looked fatigued and
But I
just
think
tired by
I think
the end.
it's the first time that they're doing exactly what needed to be done the whole time, and it was build a team around him.
Yeah, facts.
just work for him.
Thank you for watching.
It's another one. Let him shoot. Bang, bang.